What's up, killers? Are you new to 7 Days to Die? This survival crafting horror game is taking the genre by storm and is hitting record player counts this year. Its recent Alpha 21, has proven to include a lot of wonderful adjustments to make the game even more fun than before. However, if you're new to the game, it can have quite a learning curve. Fear not! With the help of experts in my Discord server, link in the description by the way, I've put together my top 10 tips and tricks for beginners. Now, if you're a veteran player looking for the best practices in optimizing your builds and perk loadouts, then this video won't help you much. But if you're new and want to enjoy the vanilla experience in its fullest, then let's do this! Number 1. Stick to the rooftops. 7 Days to Die is all about survival, and zombies can be sneaky, cunning, and downright devastating if you let your guard down for too long. If you need space for respite, get on the rooftops of smaller buildings. This way, you can set up a campfire and sort through the stuff you found in peace. Do be mindful that zombies and vultures take residence on rooftops of some of the larger buildings. But if you stick to smaller places, you shouldn't get overwhelmed. Keep to the high ground. Number 2. Keep building blocks on your tool belt. Building blocks, or wood frames, can be used for lots of things. They can be changed into hundreds of different shapes and are helpful placeholders for base building prior to upgrading to stronger materials. However, if you keep them in box shape, you can use these to plug up holes behind you when you're exploring buildings, using them as sort of an alarm if a zombie sneaks up on you. Another common use for frames, for better or for worse, is nerd poling. This is when you place a frame under you while jumping until you get your desired height. It's helpful in a pinch. Just open your crafting menu and type in frame or blocks and you'll see how to make them. Get yourself some chopped wood and try to keep 20 or so on your belt at all times. You'll be surprised how many ways you can use building blocks. Number 3. Scrap things for resources. Many starting recipes require wood, clay soil, rocks, and/or iron to craft. These items are generally pretty easy to find, but you can subsidize your material intake by scrapping things you find until you get a proper salvage tool like a wrench, ratchet, or impact driver. Chairs, houseplants, and basic trash loot can be scrapped into raw materials and can be sold for dukes, the in-game currency used at the traders, or hoarded for later use. If you're trying to gather everything you can and don't want to run around with full pockets all the time, scrap things that give you raw materials. In a game about gathering materials and building a zombie-proof base, it helps to have a growing intake of materials. Number 4. Use all of your armor slots. 7 Days to Die can be brutal, and one way to mitigate damage is to keep your clothing and armor slots filled. As you're looting, compare shirts and pants and boots you find to whatever you're already wearing. The opening quests help you get the plant fiber clothes to start with, but it doesn't take much to make some cloth armor. Just having something will help you weather the inevitable uh-ohs and OMGs you should expect on day 1. Using all of your clothes and armor slots helps defend against enemy attacks and the elements, both of which are trying to kill you from the start, by the way. No two shirts or armor pieces are the same, so compare them and equip the one that offers the most protection. Use those slots! Number 5. Go inside of buildings and POIs. This may seem silly, but you may find yourself tempted to get your XP from hunting zombies in the wilderness. If that's the way you want to play the game, then go for it. Just be aware that most buildings and POIs reward your courage with lots of loot and treasure. You stand a higher chance of finding guns, clothing, armor, food, and ammunition if you pick a place and ransack it. There are some things to keep in mind though. It gets dark indoors if the weather is bad, so a torch, weapon light, or headlight mod are helpful in the early game. The developers put a lot of surprises throughout most POIs, so expect some jump scares and tense moments. Additionally, you can assume that POIs with higher difficulties, as indicated by the difficulty meter when you approach a building, will promise higher quality loot and treasure. Number 6. Traders are life. Being near to a trader can both make life easier and a lot more adventurous. You can't get too close due to trader immunity. They can't be attacked or destroyed, you see, so building on their chunk is a no-no. But you can set up shop across the street or within earshot of your local trader. Traders offer quests, and depending on which character you go to, sell various goods that are helpful at all stages of the game. Making your home nearby means that you can pick through quests more often, buy and sell with access to your personal storage, and even loot their compound for some early game materials. Interacting with a trader on the reg is a must when trying to survive for a long time in the zombie wasteland. Be sure to mark them on your map with a special waypoint. Number 7. Don't stop working. You'll want to ensure you're always working on something, even if it's a remotely small task. This even means that when it turns nighttime and the zombies start running, you shouldn't be hiding or cowering in the dark. If you're hiding on a rooftop or have started construction on your base, use the time you have to continually improve your living conditions. You don't sleep in this game and you can't pass time, so you should spend your time digging, mining, cooking, crafting, or earmarking recipes you want to make later. If you choose to mine or chop trees or something, just make sure you can see a way back to safety in case you earn zombie aggro or the game spawns a wandering horde on you. If all you do is gather rocks and dirt, keep working! Number 8. Build your base above ground level. As you prepare for the Day 7 horde battle, you should know that the rules of the wasteland change a little. When the sun goes down on Day 7, there are no wandering zombies to deal with. Instead, a horde spawns all around you and the zombies will do whatever it takes to get to you, following the path of least resistance. If you build a base at ground level, even if you're reasonably well fortified on all sides, you can expect zombies to group up and chew their way in. A ground level base may get you through that first horde night, maybe, but it will struggle to hold up over time since zombies will either attack on all sides, or worse, find the one weak spot you forgot to fortify well. Instead, consider building your base on stilts, or funneling zombies to a bottleneck position you can control. This way, you can put most of your resources into one spot, or one wall, or one defense position, etc., that you can maintain over time. If you're pressed on all sides, like with the turtle base on the ground, you'll find yourself overlooking one side just long enough for you to get overrun. A tower base with lots of stairs, or a base on stilts with an elevated walkway, or even a rooftop of an existing POI would serve you a lot better. Just be sure there are no stairs or ladders that the zombies can find to get to you. Number 9. Cities are scary. You can probably deduce this from tip number 5, but cities are designed to be more difficult. Not just the buildings, but the streets, the alleys, the overpasses, the sewers, and the surrounding parks and playgrounds. They will have higher chances of spawning feral zombies, zombies that run even during the day, zombie dogs, spider zombies, and zombies with ranged attacks. Of course, the loot in cities is better, but the risk may be a bit much when you're just starting out. I'd recommend staying on the borders of the cities until you have the gear you need to delve in further, or commit to finding rural POIs like farms, cabins, and homesteads. Commercial-looking areas will have not just a higher count of zombies, but stronger variants of them as well. Enter with caution. Number 10. Screamers are attracted to heat. Okay, so there's this zombie called a screamer. She mostly only spawns on your location if the heat is too much. Not like daytime sunshine heat. I mean the heat map heat. Let me explain. Heat is caused by a variety of things. First, anything with fire generates heat. Torches, campfires, forges, chemistry stations, etc. Second, anything that makes noise will generate heat. Mining metals like iron or lead, upgrading blocks, firing guns, and explosions. Every section of the map, or sometimes you'll hear people call it a chunk of the map, has its own heat measurement. If the heat gets too high, a screamer will spawn and come looking for you. If she sees or hears you, she'll scream, which will spawn a horde of zombies commensurate with your level and game stage. Now, if you kill all the zombies quickly and quietly, you can get back to work doing whatever makes you happy. But sometimes the existing heat from your base and a long, drawn-out battle can summon another screamer. Also, screamers can summon more screamers. So be mindful of your constant banging and chopping, especially if you're still relying on lots of torches to see. Now, if you're a veteran player watching this, reflect on what your first game save was like. Consider what pro tips you would add to this list and leave them in the comments below for our new players to comb through. Let's show our newer 7 Days to Die players how great this player base can really be. If you found this video helpful, please consider leaving a like. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Crab out!